Look at this rain. Dave and I decided to escape it, so we went through the Cascades, admiring the fall colors, to the east side, where we were hoping to find some sunshine and have it at least be a little bit drier. Dave and I are at the Lincoln Rock State Park today. We're going to get on a trail called the Rocky Reach Trail. We're going to do kind of a lollipop ride down Rocky Reach, around the Apple Capitol Loop and back, and it should be around 20 miles. Should be a gorgeous fall colors, and it's a beautiful day. Lincoln Rock State Park is also on the Columbia River, just upstream from the Rocky Reach Dam. The park gets its name from what looks like the countenance of Abraham Lincoln on the side of the cliff. Do you see him? So when it's not a watered park with beautiful fall trees and luscious lawns, this is the natural landscape. Now we're on the Rocky Reach Trail. Probably gonna go past some orchards. There's some over there. There's the Rocky Reach Dam. So construction on this dam began in 1956, and it was first put into use in 1961. I guess it has a nearly mile-long pipe for salmon to swim through. Nearly mile-long pipe, which it doesn't mark on the map, is for the downstream direction for young salmon and steelhead. And there's a fish ladder for the adults that are heading upstream. .43. Alongside the Columbia, it's so pretty here. We are at almost 3.5 miles on the Rocky Reach Trail. I think we actually did a half mile around the park first, so maybe about 3 miles. And it's talking about the wildlife along the trail and the geology. And these rocks right across the Columbia from us here are 90 million year old metamorphic rocks. You can see orchards up ahead, about 3.79. At 5.45. We're going to be going to the right. It says Apple Capitol Loop Trail to the right. If you go to the left, it's the 37th Street Trail ahead. So if you want to skip the Rocky Reach, that's one place you could jump on. .73. We've chosen to go on the west side of the loop, so we should be crossing the bridge here. We're about to cross the bridge over the Columbia River. It's probably the noisiest part we'll be on. I'm at 6.23 miles in right now. The bridge was pretty busy and loud, but the view is beautiful. It's kind of an industrial area here. We should be going through some parks, and it's just such a beautiful day. Apple crates. So pretty. Columbia on this side, and on this side they've got stacks and stacks and stacks of apple crates. It's a really beautiful park. Has a boat launch. People are getting their paddle boards all pumped up. It's like a great place for birding. I see a lot of birds out there. Maybe we'll get closer. I'm at 7.59 miles. And I am on the Apple Capitol Loop Trail. I did just take a detour through the park because it came to a turn and it didn't have any markings. So there's actually a lot of really great trails here, but where there's junctions, there aren't always markings. It's a beautiful bridge. I think this is the Wenatchee we're crossing here. Gorgeous. I'll get out to the middle and then take some footage around. So I think that park we just went through might have been the Wenatchee Confluence State Park, because that's what we're at here. That's the confluence. Right out there you can see where the Wenatchee is flowing right into the Columbia. There's that confluence. Beautiful. Now I'll get these fish. Eight miles going along the railroad here. Just went through a pretty cool wildlife area. Bikes aren't allowed on part of that trail, but we saw a snake. You're a little snake friend. I think I ran over his tail. I am so sorry, little dude. Sign here that says the trail continues in a quarter mile, so it looks like we are joining up with a road. It was pretty well marked, and there is a sidewalk, nice and wide. 8.58, and we are just in that quarter mile of where the trail leaves the state park property, and it didn't really join the street, it's joining a sidewalk, which is nice, and then it just blends right back into the trail. So now we are bicycling through Walla Walla Point Park, and we're right back on the Columbia again. So we are in Walla Walla Point State Park, and I think there's a whole bunch of statues here, but this one is just awesome. Look at that. So this is called Coyote Leads the Salmon Up the River. Does it look like these salmon are riding my bike? And we're gonna see how far we can go out on this little point. It doesn't go through. We're gonna have to go back to the trail, but how can I resist popping out onto the Columbia like this? Especially when there's a tiny bridge. Whew. Sandy. Oh, now this is gorgeous. So there's the bridge we came across. We started up in that valley there. We crossed that bridge and we've come down this side of the river, and we're not getting very far because it's too pretty. We're gonna come back somewhere on that side of the river. What do you think?
Cool.
9.42. Columbia is pretty buggy. I've eaten many bugs today. It's pretty gross, but I guess I'm getting my protein. There's the Wenatchee Paddle Club boathouse. Fall colors are just beautiful. There is a little miniature train track here looping around through this park. I imagine they must use it in the summer for kids. So cute. The other side of the trail, some beautiful plantings. Flowers still blooming. This is gorgeous. Look, I found Bigfoot. One day isn't enough for this trail. This is cute, ancient traveler. Look at this guy. So I think we have 1 mile till our bridge. Another boat launch here. I'm at 10.94. We're just on the shoulder of a road here, but this is the Apple Capital Loop Trail still. I could see a bridge ahead. It looked really pretty. I think that's our ride back to the other side. And then we'll go up the east side. I'm at 11.61. So from Walla Walla Point Park, we went into Wenatchee Riverside Park, and now we're at Hale Park. So just on this side of the river, one park after another. It's really beautiful use of their waterfront and really well-maintained parks. A lot of people out using them, especially on a beautiful day like this. Oh, and there's an off-leash dog park area I see a sign for. That's cool. I have to bring the puppers back and visit Wenatchee again. Go. Got a train coming up the railroad tracks there. It's a little wiggly because I'm going up a real steep ramp. This is a pedestrian bridge. Whew. The train is loud. This is awesome. Beautiful. Across the bridge, there's Dave. Apple Capital Loop Mile 0 is up on this bridge. It's a beautiful pedestrian bridge. I mean, I guess it's a pipeline too, but it's just really beautiful and well made. I like the black. Bug to the eyeball. is the pedestrian bridge we came off of, and when you come off, you're going to see the trail kind of go to the left, and it just kind of ends right there at the street crossing, and it also goes to the right. But if you're taking the loop, you know you need to go left. What you really need to do, we actually missed it because we were looking ahead and filming the bridge, you actually have to cut back really hard left, and then it's very obvious, but worth noting, because if you're distracted at all, like I am so easily distracted, then you will miss it. But I wanted to come back over here anyway and get some of this bridge from down here. Wow. 12.22 miles. Sorry about the bounce. So on this side, we're closer to a road right now, and the wastewater treatment plant, we're just at 12.4 miles into our adventure. So a little less than 10 left. There's the beautiful Columbia. Boy, this side is pretty in its own way. Less groomed parks, more like foresty stuff. Wow, big old cottonwood there. 12.85. Coming up on some quail. Can you see those quail? They're so cute. Quail!
Smell the salmon in the river.
Beautiful. Some widgeons out there. 13.28. Kind of bouncy and rooty on this side. Got some pretty fall colors though. I didn't say no bikes. I'm coming down here on this wildlife viewing platform. There's a lot of little walking trails going off into the trees. Right now, a lot of beach too. There is wildlife out there right now, a lot of crows and a lot of ducks. I'm not going to zoom in on them. It's mallards with a few pigeons thrown in. This is really pretty, and it's really nice that they put this in here. .13. And as you can see, across there is the Wenatchee confluence we went over earlier. Miles in. There's almost like dunes here. This is really fine sand. Just over 16. There's a lot of like hills and sand and cottonwood stands and little trails all to the left here that you could walk on, maybe mountain bike. There is the bridge that we crossed at the beginning, so we're coming back to the Rocky Reach Trail. And we just turned left to go back under the bridge on the Rocky Reach Trail, heading back for Lincoln Rock State Park. I probably won't film unless there's something really interesting, since you've seen this before. I'll see you back at the car. So I'm still on the way back. We're still on Rocky Reach. I'm at 17.37. So we have about 4 miles left. But the way the sun is hitting these bluffs is just pretty, so I thought I would catch a little bit more footage. All right, that was a fabulous ride. Not only just a gorgeous trail, I mean, you just can't beat riding along the Columbia for hours, but also to skip the rains on the west side of the mountains and come over here and get glorious sunshine and beautiful fall colors. Good choice. 21.87 miles. I did ride around the park a little to begin with, and actually made a couple little tiny detours in the parks in Wenatchee. So right around 21 miles if you do the Rocky Reach plus the Apple Capitol Loop. 555 feet of elevation. I was not sure which side we'd best to take. One is more groomed parks, the other is more like wild parks, kind of more of a natural wildlife kind of area feel to it. But I would say that I don't think you can go wrong. Both sides are going to undulate a little bit, but I don't think that going east first or west first either way would give you more downhill or more uphill necessarily. But beautiful ride. Definitely want to come back here. Just a gorgeous day. Get out there and enjoy it if you can.